Hello, and thank you for your continued support. This video is on dreadlocks, and if you're going to try using the needle style, I thought about it, and I think a good recommendation is to make a sample dreadlock first. The sample dreadlock can be made out of, probably human hair would be best. I bought this one and made it and maintained it as it got worn. But what I've decided to do is to buy some hair, this one's synthetic hair from a local beauty shop, and practice doing the dreadlocks on this hair, just like you should. If you're thinking about doing dreadlocks, it's good to practice and get your technique down before you start on your own, or even if you already have them, to refine your technique so you're not piercing your finger as much, or you kind of understand the muscle movement as you're doing it, so it's easier for you. It's muscle memory as you're going through it. Your body almost automatically knows how to do it, so it doesn't hurt you, and it actually creates the locks or the knots that make the dreadlock. So to get started, we'll need a needle. These are often called crochet hooks. I like to call them crochet needles. A lot of you ask, where do you get them? Well, I went and bought one at a local fabric store, and all I could find was, it's called, this one in the Americas is US 11, which is 1.10 millimeters metric, by a company. You can check it out, product support if you like. But this one's a little larger than the one I use. The one I got is a Japanese tulip, and this is 0.7 millimeters. So that's 0.4 millimeters smaller than that one, and that just allows it to go quicker and to tighten thicker, and more tight. The big one, it's going to be a little slower, and it's not going to be as tight, but you'll still be able to pull in loose hairs. You'll still be able to accomplish what you need until you can find a good quality one. Okay, so here's how I would recommend doing it. This is synthetic hair. I would recommend getting natural human hair, which isn't that cheap. It's $30 to $60, $80 from what I saw. This one's $4 that I'm just going to practice on to show you the style. The one that I got, I think, was probably more like real hair, and it's easier to do. I already tried a sample of this. It's a little bit harder, but you can still practice your technique on it. So here's what I'm going to do. You have to prop it on something, so I'm going to use this window pull. I'm going to loop it around, and there we go. Okay, and so to do this, we'll need any type of toothed comb, finer the better, I guess. And I'm going to go ahead and section off a little piece. And what this is also good for is, when you get the human hair, it'll be more reflective. Like, maybe try to find human hair that's similar to your own. And when you do that, you're actually going to create yourself an extra hair tie, which can be used later. That's good. But when doing it, you practice it, it'll be okay. My friend did this, and he practiced on it so much he started ripping the hair. So you don't want to overwork it, since it's even if it is human. Well, I'm gonna take the comb, and I believe it's called back combing, and I'm gonna go ahead and slide up. The thickness, I went ahead and did about a third or a half of the thickness. It's going to be a pretty big lock with this synthetic material hair. All right, there's just some little pulls that have started already, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my crochet hook. I'm going to pinch it. I'm going to begin the locking procedure. The locking procedure is, you're going to pinch it with the thumb and index finger. I twist it a little bit with the other hand, sliding the needle back, and I'm going to pierce it and go through. As I go through, I like to just go on the outside of the section of hair and curve it around and pull it in. I'm curving it around, like going with the motion of the hook. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And as I do that, I actually kind of spin the lock a little bit too. And what that does is allows it to rotate and create that cylinder effect. So I'm going to go in, notice I'm not doing it too fast. As you get better at it, you don't have to look at it, which is kind of nice, especially if you're doing the back of your head. You'll need to develop the ability not to look at it and do it. Looking at it though does afford you a little bit more comfort. And this motion that I'm doing too, it's in a way that it doesn't have a chance to pierce my thumb as much. I've pierced my thumb a lot, and not so much my index finger. So being careful about your motion can really help you be more successful at it. Because if you hurt yourself, it really puts you at a disadvantage. But if you can just build up the calluses and build up a little bit of roughness with the fingers without actually piercing it, it gives you a little bit more ability to go quicker and stronger. Okay. So now that I've actually locked this portion right here, and I've gone through it a little bit, and I'd continue to do that, and I'd lock the whole thing. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit closer to you, and I'm going to show locking on this sample, or this, it's a hair tie that we use it for. Go ahead and hold it down, nice and close. I see we have some loose hairs here. Go ahead and go through. Oh yeah, much better already. Okay, so let's take a look here. Hopefully you can see the loose hairs sticking out. Go ahead and put those back in. So as I'm doing this for you, I can see that I curve it around. I curve it around into it, like kind of using my index finger to guide it, pierce it through, catch it, and I'm going all the way through it, pulling it through. I turn it, and then I just kind of beat it a couple times. Turn it, beat it a couple times, turn it, beat it a couple times, turn it, beat it a couple times. And as I'm doing that, the pinching actually lets me know how thick the lock is. By now, with working with Dreadlocks so much, as we can see, it's already getting tighter. With working with Dreadlocks so much, you get a knowledge just from feeling it, how thick your own dreadlocks are, you want them, or thickening up the dreadlocks as you want them. You can look at the other videos to see other techniques about thickening up the locks and other perspectives of it. Yeah, that's good.